Foxes, welcome back to my channel. This is Brittany from Foxborough Vintage or Shop Foxborough on the Poshmark app. And I'm here today with another video for you of my last 10 sales on Etsy over $40. So I tend to list things that are gonna go for like a higher price point on my Etsy store and not on my Poshmark closet. And yeah, I'm just here to go through these different sales with you. So the first thing, let me just say, I'll pop up a picture over here so you can see what my pictures look like, and see the item I'm talking about. So my first one is a vintage coral pink petticoat, and this sold within 24 hours for $46, and I'll actually pop a card up here if you go to my last thrift haul video. It was all vintage items, and you'll see this item in there, and I said that it was that vintage petticoats are a fast seller for me, and again, this didn't prove me right. So within 24 hours, $46. The next item was a vintage tropical bird print skirt. So this was a wrap skirt. I had this cross-posted to Poshmark and Etsy, and I did have a lot of interest on Poshmark, but it had been up there for a couple of months, and I finally cross-posted it to Etsy, and it sold pretty quickly. I'd say within a month it was sold for full asking price, which was $44.99. And that was from the 1970s. It's all about the print with vintage. Another one that went for over $40. This one went for $135.99, and then I had a 10% off sale. So usually I'll run like a 10% off sale, or maybe a little bit more, 15% off in my Etsy shop for all listings that were listed the month before and earlier. So anything that was listed in the current month is full price, but a lot of times I'll run a sale for my whole shop for anything that was listed prior to a month. And part of that is because, on Poshmark I take offers, and so why not on Etsy try and get people buying by putting a sale on every now and then. So this sold for total $122.39, and it was a hydrangea print floral 50s cocktail party dress. And the gal said that she was going to do a photo shoot with it. She lived in New York City. And then I actually had another person message me after it sold saying that they had wanted to buy it, but they didn't get it in time. And it's funny because it had been listed since I think last summer, but it just caught the eye of two people at the same time. But one of them purchased it. So yeah, I was very happy with that. And I don't want you to think that I pay like pennies for all of these things. A lot of times with my Etsy items, I am paying up way more than people who aren't in the vintage world would expect. So I'm pretty sure for that dress, I paid $50 for it at the vintage fashion show that I go to every May. And that was probably, I want to say like 3 years ago I bought that, and it had a little bit of a stain on it, but I was really afraid to soak it. And finally I got up the courage to soak it last year, and everything was color fast and it came out great, so I was able to list it. But again, yeah, I paid up for that. So the next item was a 1980s black beaded cardigan. It was made with Angora, and it was just like beautiful little pearl detailing all over it, and that sold for $55.99 minus a 10% discount, so $50.39. Those beaded cardigans, a lot of times if you find a really good one, they can go for a pretty decent amount of money, especially the 50s ones, and especially cashmere. So keep your eye out for that. Let's see. No. Sorry, I'm scrolling through here trying to find the ones that are over 40. Alright. This dress was actually on sale. So I've had this for so long. I got it at Brimfield flea market, I think 4 years ago, maybe. And I've had it listed since then. It was listed for $80, and then I had put it on my clearance, so it was 50% off in March, so it was $40, so $39.99. But this one sold at that sale price for $39.99, and I don't think I would pick up, unless I got it at a thrift store for like $5.99 or something like that. I don't think that I would pay up for this kind of solid color, sort of fancier dress, because I feel like it's a bit of a harder sale. You really have to have an occasion to wear it to. It's not like an everyday dress. That was the 5th sale. So going on number 6. Number 6 is 2 items together. Both of them are over $40, so I'll go over both of them. The first one was a 1950s blue, like ombre sheer dress with a border print and a bow belt on it, and that sold for $125.99, and then I had 20% off in February. And then the next one was, I mean, I guess this is close enough. It was another 1950s dress, navy blue with red polka dots. It had another bow belt, so I think that that was maybe like this person's selling point, because they bought both of them together. And that sold for $45.99 with a 20% off. So both of those together were $137.58. And these went all the way to the UK. So I can't stress enough, if you sell on Etsy, you should definitely do international shipping. It's super easy. If you do the calculated shipping anyway, all you have to do is, that's different from shipping in the US, is to put in a description of what the item is in the customs form, and that's it. It auto-populates the rest for you. It charges the buyer the right amount, so it's really a no-brainer, and I get a ton of international sales. Even stuff where I'm like, I can't believe they paid this much to ship this item, but you know, that's what they are willing to pay, so who am I to say no? The next item is another dress. You will see a trend here. Lots of dresses. This sold for $59.99. It was full asking price. And it was a 1970s red heart print dress. So cute. I'll pop a picture up just like the others, and you can see. And yeah, that one sold pretty quickly. I want to say that sold within a week and a half, and that was in February. February was my best sales month on Etsy ever for my vintage shop. I think I've made somewhere around $1,400 just from my Etsy sales in February, and I've never done a month that big on Etsy before, so it was great. I don't know what was in the water, but it was awesome. This is another one that I was surprised at how quickly it sold, so I picked this up. I don't even remember where. I just thought it was really cool. It was signed. It had, ecology across the front, and it just had like all these awesome graphics. And when I did research on the names that were on the scarf, they were designed by, what is his name? It's Michael Volbracht, for Glentex. So they were from the 1970s, and he did like a series of these, and they're super rare. And yeah, there was one listed in a frame for $300, and I had never seen one of mine sold before, so I went ahead and listed this one for $125. It was included in my March sale, so it was 10% off. and that sold for $125.99 minus the 10% off, so $113.39 plus shipping. And it sold to someone who was in like a graphics company. They had like a care of for a graphics company, so I was very curious what they were going to do with it, but you know, I don't usually message my customers to ask. Okay, and the last one was a dress. It was a gingham 1950s dress with daisies along the collar, little applique daisies, and it had a bolero that went with it. It was super cute. I had purchased it for myself, but I just didn't like how it fit on me, so I ended up reselling it, and of course I did make money on it. It sold for $75.99 minus 20% off in February, and that was $60.79. So it's definitely worth it to take a look through the dresses if you're not already selling vintage dresses. 50s stuff can really bring a lot of money, but you just have to have a good eye. There's a lot of like, I don't know how to say this. Not a lot of 50s stuff is common anymore, but the silhouettes that are going to be better are going to be the ones that are fit and flare. Sheath dresses, wiggle dresses, they do sell, but they're a harder sale. Small, large, it doesn't really matter. Obviously, large stuff is going to sell a little bit faster, I think, than a super small dress, but 24-inch waist, I've sold stuff with a 31-inch bust. There's all kinds of different people, all kinds of different sizes. And so I don't hesitate to pick up smaller stuff as well as, you know, when you can find larger stuff, that's great. Yeah, so those are my last 10 sales on Etsy, over $40. I had a lot of stuff in there that was $30, $20, $25. And then a couple of kids items that were, you know, closer to the $15 to $17 range, but add it all up and it does, you know, bring in a nice income. Yeah, so that was it. If you like this sort of video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up so I know. If you have any feedback, you know, I haven't done this sort of video before, so just let me know down in the comments and I'll definitely listen. Yeah, so I'm gonna sign off. Thanks so much for coming. Bye.